Welcome to the first section of the course. In the next few videos, we are going to explore topics of variables and data types, two of the most important concepts in any programming language. Variables are used to store information to be referenced and manipulated in a computer program. They also provide a way of giving variables a descriptive name, so our programs can be understood more clearly by the reader and ourselves. It's helpful to think of variables as containers that hold data through the entire application. The sole purpose of variables is to store data in the memory. These three boxes represent three different variables. Let's say this variable is called box1 and it stores the value of Bob. The second variable can be called anything, it can be called test, and the test stores the value of true. The third box, which is the third variable, stores the value of a number 35. As you can see, variables in JavaScript are containers which hold reusable data. In other words, they are units of storage, like some sort of a box into which we can put data. Using the following steps, you can create and use variables. So first, we need to create a variable with the appropriate name. Secondly, we have to store value in it. Thirdly, we have to retrieve and use the stored value, and optionally, you can change the value and then reuse it again. Now, let's open our Visual Studio Code and see it in action. As always, we have our Chrome opened, then we're going to have our Visual Studio Code, and we're going to create a folder which is going to have two different files in it. We have index.html and script.js. I call this file 02 variables and data types. We're going to drag and drop it here. As always, make this full screen, and then in there, don't forget to link this to the script, and let's say console log. In there, we're going to say welcome to variables, and that's going to open the browser for us. In there, we don't have anything in the browser, but if you inspect it, then you should be able to see the console open. If it's not opening in the new window for you, go click these three dots and then click undock in separate window, and then just drag it to the left side of your actual window. That's it. We have the console open on the left side and the Visual Studio Code on the right side. In here, you can click this wheel and click selected context only to remove the errors. And if you save it, we should get welcome to variables. Great. Now we're good to go. So the values that we store in our variables can come in the form of predefined data types. The computer needs to know of which type is our value so it can manipulate it properly. The lecture on data types is coming really soon in the course, and it's going to explain all the details about them. So how can we create a variable? We need a var keyword. So let's create var. In there, the second thing we need is the variable name. So let's say variable name, just like that. Then after the equal sign, we put the value which we want to assign to this variable. Right now, let's take the value of this console log, welcome to variables. Let's copy it, paste it here. That's it. So right now, what we can do is we can take this variable name, which is a variable, and put it in the console log. Remember, variables store some values. In this case, we put the value of a string, more than later, in here in this console log. If we save that, you can see currently it's not saved because of this circle. If we save that, you can see we get absolutely the same thing in the console. We've successfully used our first variable. Just a simple note, you're always going to see me adding semicolons at the end of lines, as you can see here on line 1 and line 3. Also, if you don't know what lines are, on the left side you can see we have different lines. So our programs later are going to have 10, 50, 100 lines. So whenever I say something is on line 1 or line 3, you can just see it on the left side. So we use semicolons. They are optional, but omitting them can lead to undesired consequences. It's a good practice to always put them at the end of the line, and you'll often see me doing that. In the next video, we're going to see two more additional ways of creating variables.